So let me start again. So for example, if we consider for carbon monoxide, what is the theta rotational value? Theta rotational value, it turns out to be about 2.77 in Kelvin. Okay, it's Kelvin. So given this, theta rotational by T is of the order of 10 to the power minus 2, which is a very small number. So given for such kind of thing, you can actually write Q rotational as an integration. Instead of summation over j, you can do an integration over j. So practically you are considering j as a continuous variable, you are treating it that way. So then 2j plus 1 and e to the power minus theta rotational, and then j into j plus 1 divided by t and dj. Now you can do this integration. Fortunately, that means you consider just substitution of variable. Consider that j into j plus 1 is your x, and then dx equals to 2j plus 1. So dx equals 2j plus 1 dj is equals to dx. So 2j plus 1 is absorbed, so it becomes 0 to infinity e to the power minus theta rotational x by t dx, something like that. And then that integration can be done easily, and if you do this, ultimately what do you get? You can just find out. If you do this integration, then it becomes q rotational becomes t by theta rotational. Okay, because it is this, right, 1 by this. So t by theta rotational e to the power minus the same thing, and you substitute it with the limits minus infinity, so that becomes 0, and minus there's a minus sign, so automatically it becomes just this. Now there is a crucial point. That crucial point is that because it is a we are considering rotation of the molecules, depending on the symmetry of the molecule, this q rotational will be over counted with respect to the number of with respect to a number called symmetry number. And that is why we'll come to that discussion slightly later, that q rotational t actually will be considered as something like t by sigma theta rotational, and then where that essentially you can substitute it, and it becomes 8 pi square I kt by sigma h square. Okay, and where sigma is referred as the symmetry number for the diatomic molecule, symmetry number. Okay, that is called symmetry number. And typically, for example, for heterogeneous diatomic molecule, sigma is 1, because there is no rotational symmetry as such. That means if you rotate it by 360 degree, no equivalent geometry appears. But if you have a homogeneous diatomic molecule, in that case, that means if you have A, B, then you have sigma equals to 1. But if you have A, like hydrogen, nitrogen, like that, N, then you have sigma equals to 2, because there are two configurations that appears in its full rotation of 360 degree, right? So based on that this symmetry number has different values for molecules with symmetry, and you will find a list in my given note later, where nitrogen obviously has got 2, but for example in case of ammonia, for example, sigma equals to 3 for ammonia, and sigma equals to 4 for say C2H2, C2H4 for example, and then sigma equals to 12 for CH4, because of various possible equivalent configurations when the molecule is rotated through 360 degree. Okay, so these has to modify, because you can see that given the number of configurations, actually for the same kind of and the number of states, q is summation over number of states, and then if we are considering one state, suppose in this way, and another state where actually it is rotated AA, then we should not consider the second one, so there will be double count. So we have to divide by 2 for this kind of homogeneous diatomic molecules. Okay, so for multi-atomic molecules, sigma also has to be properly considered. So in a way, this closed form result is true for systems. First thing is where theta rotational is much smaller compared to smaller compared to T. Okay, that is one thing that has to be there. And the other thing is that if they have a certain symmetry in the molecules. So based on this, we will actually go ahead with the remaining contributions. So you will find that rotational constant for various diatomic molecules are actually reported, and you will see diatomic molecules with molecules containing, for example, hydrogen. I'm just giving one example. For HCl, the theta rotational is actually very, you can see theta rotational for HCl molecule is large, that means 15.24. On the other hand, for the smallest one, for example, bromine, the theta rotational is of the order of, so this is atto-Kelvin, and theta rotational for bromine I find is about 0.116 Kelvin. Okay, so given theta rotational, you can also find out the rotational constants, that is B. Okay, rotational constant B tilde centimeter inverse. Remember that this is written in centimeter inverse, and that is actually for HCl. For HCl it is for 35. That is HCl, that is 10.595. And the other hand, for hydrogen, this rotational constant, these are not to be remembered, and these are just whether you can calculate these things from one another. So this is there. So given this, we now have, we will consider now onwards that our temperature is such that theta rotational is much smaller than T, so the theta rotational by T is much less than 1, so that we can take that Q rotational is equals to T by sigma theta rotational. So we'll assume that, and given this, we will try to find out what is our E rotational. That means the average rotational contribution to the internal energy of a system containing diatomic molecules, and that you can find out, that is nkt square, again del ln q rotational by del t, okay, at n and v constant, and that turns out to be how much? Because q rotational has got t, these things are not temperature dependent, so what happens is ln t, and then when you differentiate it becomes 1 by t, so 1 t gets cancelled, so it becomes essentially nkt, and if you have molar contribution, then it becomes just RT. Okay, so that is nkt. Given this, the rotational contribution to molar heat capacity, that is CV rotational molar, that is n equals to now Avogadro number, then n0, and that means del E bar rotational by del T, that is what you want. Okay, and that turns out to be just differentiation of this with respect to T, and then n equals to n0, so it becomes n0k, and that is equals to R. So it is again this value. Now given this, let us consider that a diatomic molecule, for the diatomic molecule, if you have for diatomic molecules, if you consider that it has two rotational degrees of freedom, right? For diatomic molecule, it has two rotational degrees of freedom. In that